George, but this is for a lot of other people too.
Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black dreams matter. Black dreams matter. Black kids matter. Black kids matter.
Our correspondent Barbara Plett Usher capturing reactions from the streets in Minneapolis. His name, of course, will be shorthand for arguments over legal reform, law enforcement, racial justice, but let's hear a bit more about George Floyd. He had a life of highs and lows, brought up in the housing project in Houston. He was a powerful sportsman, got into trouble with the law, did time inside, and then had a stab at redemption. The big man did community outreach and work with Pastor Patrick Ngwola of Resurrection Houston. Big Floyd, as he knew him, sought personal redemption in his work, and that work took him to Minneapolis. Just look how that ended. So, let's hear now, not about the law, the politics, but about one American life and death. What were Pastor Patrick's thoughts about the outcome of this case?
On the scale of things to do, I think the verdict was something that needed to happen. We're happy and excited that a verdict was rendered, but as the trained barristers, the trained lawyers, we're trained that no one case can handle the weight of social policy. That anytime litigants get into an arena, they're there to, and judges are a part and juries are a part. It's about solving that one case. The issue of justice to me, to put it simply, if peace or shalom is a circle, then justice happens when the circle is broken. What does it take to put the circle back together? But in a murder case where someone has been brutally executed, you can't give back a life. So what does it take for us to see that Derek Chauvin's act was not a singular controversy, but part of a system that normalizes police brutality on black and brown people, so that we can raise the conversation from just looking at an individual issue to looking at system.
George Floyd's brother was quoted as saying, "We're able to breathe again," a very fraught and heavy phrase. Do you feel that yourself? Are you breathing differently now?
I'm happy that the family's happy. I remain cautiously optimistic that we will continue to take the steps that are necessary to bring healing and hope. But I lean more on my Christian faith in this aspect of justice, because my belief in the literal bodily resurrection gives me hope that systems and structures, though they may be broken, if I believe that God is building a better world and He is recreating a better world through brokenness, that He can bring back George Floyd and bring what true peace, shalom, and goodwill towards men. And yes, I believe that happens in the end for those of you who may be listening, but I also think that it is a process to the end, meaning God is also working through us right now to bring that hope of the resurrection and to bring goodwill and justice to all. That in King's words, He is taking the neighborhood of the universe and the neighborhood of our world and making it into a brotherhood. And it's not just happening at the end, but it is happening throughout history. And so I'm hopeful that we're part of that history, and that this verdict was part of that history, and that people of goodwill would continue the work in the process.
Well, that's Pastor Patrick Ngwola of Resurrection Houston, resurrecting, in a sense, the community worker and all-round good guy that he knew as Big Floyd. And one thing that he mentioned to us as well is he said a lot of the youngsters that he works with keep and now treasure the text messages that Floyd was sending to them, encouraging them to take a better path, to do a better thing, and to be a better man.